Welcome back to the Republic of Arsenal, guys. In this video, I want to talk about the goalkeeping situation going on at Arsenal currently, or more so, the backup goalkeeper situation. We all know who the number one is, Bernd Leno, no questions asked. He's established himself firmly as the number one, and at the moment has absolutely nobody at the club that's in any way even close to rivaling him for that spot. We seen last season we were extremely fortunate to have two excellent goalkeepers, but it was going to be a case that both of these guys wanted to play. Emi Martinez established himself and was absolutely brilliant in the 12 games that he had to play while Leno was out injured. So there was no way he was going to be content with sitting on the bench again while Leno played. And saying that, up till his injury, Leno was probably alongside with Aubameyang our best player last season. So he did absolutely nothing to warrant being dropped from the side. So 20 million Aston Villa, Emi Martinez. There's a debate there to be had about who's the better keeper, who we should have kept, who we should have sold. Either way, we lost a great keeper. We've still got a great keeper. So the number one position, I'm still happy. We've still got a great man between the sticks. Now the problem we have at the moment, we have absolutely no cover if he gets another injury again. Now we saw the club brought in Runer Alex Runerson as backup to Bernd Leno this season. Uh, Runer Alex Runerson, probably a name that most hadn't heard, myself included. He was playing for Dijon over in France, not as a first choice. 25-year-old Icelandic goalkeeper. Yeah, apparently he was a recommendation from one of our goalkeeping coaches who had worked with him in the past. So I think it was a bit of a case of Arteta and Edu probably just taking the word off the goalkeeping coach, went with the recommendation. 1.5 million. It probably seemed like a smart thing to do. 20 million earned from Emi Martinez. You've only got to spend 1.5 million for your backup goalkeeper, who apparently is decent, and then the rest of the money can be probably used towards somebody like Thomas Partey. So I think at the time we were all happy enough with that. Now, having seen Runer Alex Runerson in action in the Europa League, safe to say he wasn't overly convincing. And I think the game against Man City, when we seen him kind of flapping about a couple of times, and that free kick that he conceded, the Riyad Mahrez free kick, pretty much confirmed, I think, what we were all thinking. Probably a little bit out of his depth. Not his fault. He's never played at this level before. You know, it's down to poor recruitment on our part, trying to take the easy, cheap option. So this is the situation we're in now. That it seems as though the club are now looking elsewhere for a backup keeper, just in case of an emergency with Bernd Leno. Matt Macy, who would have been our third choice goalkeeper, has just left the club. He signed a permanent deal with Hibs, and funny enough, Matt Macy's actually 26 years of age, and that one completely caught me by surprise. I thought he was still 21, 22 maybe. He just feels like he's been there an awful long time, and 26 years of age he probably has. But yeah, I was wondering why he wasn't pushing for more of a regular kind of a regular position in the team, maybe in the Carabao or Europa League. But at 26, you can completely understand why he's moved on. A few of the names we have been linked with, David Raya from Brentford. Now, David Raya was a name that came up at the beginning of the season when we decided to go for Runerson. Apparently 10 million was the fee that we had offered to Brentford, which was turned down. Now, I think a guy like David Raya, great goalkeeper, if you're going to be investing 10 million plus, you're probably going to be looking for a number one. And again, of course, you want the guy who has enough ability to come in and rival Bernd Leno. Okay, he might not take the spot from him, but if you have a guy on the training ground every single day that's going to push you to keep your spot, it can only be a good thing. 10 million plus is a lot to spend on a backup goalkeeper who's probably only going to get, Carabao Cup, maybe FA Cup, some Europa League, and only play league games in terms of an emergency. Ben Foster's another name. Ben Foster, Watford, experienced goalkeeper, ex-England international. I don't see him leaving Watford now because he'll be playing first team football regularly. I don't see him wanting to become a number two. You've got Matt Ryan from Brighton. He's another one. Now, again, Matt Ryan has, for the past 3 seasons, he's been number one at Brighton, having arrived from Valencia. He's recently lost his place to Robert Sanchez this season. So maybe his situation has changed, that if a bid was serious, he might be willing to come in and be back up to Bernd Leno. Again, he might be happy enough to stay at Brighton and fight for his place back. He might see it as a bit more realistic that he gets his position back at Brighton, instead of coming to Arsenal to try rival Bernd Leno, who's pretty nailed on for number one at Arsenal. Stefan Ruffier is another name. Recently just left Saint Etienne, 34-year-old experienced goalkeeper. He's another guy at 34 years of age, might be happy to come to England and be second fiddle to Bernd Leno. Again, he's been at the highest level in France for 12 seasons now, so he might say to himself, look, okay, I'm 34, but I still see myself as being number one somewhere. Now, whether he's willing to drop down a division or so to do that, we don't know. It depends on, I guess, his overall ambition, but he could be an option. There's two other goalkeepers in the championship: Bryce Samba of Nottingham Forest and Seni Dieng of QPR. Both goalkeepers getting plenty of what I say, testing between the sticks this season because they're playing in struggling sides who are conceding a lot of goals. They are potential options. And then there's Sergio Romero from Man United. Sergio Romero, Man United, again, 33 years of age. We've heard recently that his contract is not going to be renewed, so he is going to leave Man United. Now, again, I'd imagine he's going to command pretty big wages. I know you'll get him on a free, but again, I think he is looking now to try get his career back on track for the next couple of seasons. I don't know if he's going to be happy to come to a club and be number two all over again. I think he'd be looking to move somewhere that he is going to actually get a bit more play time. My feeling on the way we should approach this goalkeeping situation for the backup position: I like David Raya. If I had to pick one name off that list that I could take, obviously David Raya would be the goalkeeper I'd rate highest. At 10 million plus, I don't think it's the logical move. Perhaps if Leno was a little bit older and maybe Raya was a little bit younger, and you said, okay, a couple of seasons' time, we make the investment and Raya will eventually leapfrog Leno into the number one position, the way Leno did with Petr Cech, then yeah, I could see it being a smart move. At the moment, especially given we've only got half the season to go, so we're out of the Carabao Cup, we're into the knockout stages of the Europa League, and FA Cup and Premier League, we're still playing very, very important games. I don't think you can really afford to sign a goalkeeper that's expecting to play games, because I don't think there's going to be any games for a goalkeeper to play. We're still in the FA Cup, as I said. We've got potentially tough games coming up. We've potentially two Premier League sides back to back. It's looking likely that we're going to probably play Southampton. And then if we get through that game, we're probably going to play Wolves. The backup keeper's most likely not going to play those games. Again, Europa League, we're in the knockout stages. We play Benfica next. You're not really going to, unless you don't care about the competition, I don't think you're going to risk playing a second choice goalkeeper. And then every league game from here on out is kind of a cup final for us, if you look at it from that sense, because we need to try as best we can get back into the Champions League for next season. So my personal feeling would be maybe go for a short-term option, a short-term loan if there was one available. Even someone like Stefan Ruffier, if he was happy enough to come and sit on the bench for the next couple of months, just in case. someone who I don't think is looking to play, quite regularly, because I don't think there's going to be any regular football for them to play. I don't think it's as big a worry of a position as perhaps it's been made out by some people. Again, of course, you've got to prepare for the worst. So if there was an injury to Bernd Leno, we would be in serious trouble. So this is what you plan for. At the moment, Bernd Leno is fit and healthy, and hopefully he stays that way, and we won't even require a backup goalkeeper for the rest of the season. Again, do you need to give your goalkeeper a break? I don't know. I think a goalkeeper can pretty much play as much as possible, a bit more so than an outfield player. But yeah, look, like I said, I'd be happy enough for just someone with experience who doesn't cost us an awful lot of money, who isn't looking for a lot of play time and who isn't going to command big wages. Just bring someone like that in just for the short term, and then maybe we'll reassess it at the end of the season. But that's my thoughts on it. So, as always, look, let me know your feeling on it. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Let me know in the comment section below. Who would you like if we had to bring someone in? Throw a few names at me. If I'm missing a couple of names on that list, throw them down in the comment section, or let me know the players that I've listed off there. Let me know your feelings on them. So thanks again, guys. Come on, you Gunners.